Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust. How's it going, Wolfie? Good to see ya. We left a winder in the hidey hole in the last episode. We do that sometimes. So Wolfie was watching over us as we slept between the episodes, but we appear to be safe. Oh wow, I've got too much dirt. Too much dirt! Boop boop. Let's grab Wolfie and continue west in episode... What episode is this? 297 of Farlands or Bust, as previously introduced. My name is Kurt. Are those just random floating blocks of dirt? How interesting. But yes, continuing on to the Farlands, raising money for Child's Play charity along the way. And we have continued to do such things. You guys have continued to do such things. You guys have been very generous over this weekend. We are now up to $45,679.83 raised this season for Child's Play charity, reaching ever closer to our $100,000 goal. We are, like I said, 45.679%. Maybe, just maybe, I chose the $100,000 goal because it's easy to come up with the percentages. I'm very lazy when it comes to math. So yeah, thank you very much. That's over at farlandsorbust.com that you can donate. There is a donation widget on the homepage, a tracker that tracks our progress. If you wanna watch as what you donate gets rolled into the progress bar, that's where you can do it. Indeed, piano music, indeed. Today, for your timestamp for this episode, is Monday, September 23rd, 2013. Summer is over. I believe yesterday was the equinox, and the official, the meteorological, the astronomical, official, olical. That's definitely a spawner. I should stop doing these things. Alright, never mind. Gosh, I keep telling myself, if you can't visibly see the cobblestone or the spawner, you should let it go, Kurt. Let it go. You're wasting valuable time. It's not like we don't have enough time. No, it seems laborious. Laborious. So I will not spend too much time trying to hunt for hidden spawners and things anymore. It's a bit odd. We could swim across here. I was going to take a boat, but it turns into ice, and that would be a waste of a boat. Waste of a boat. So, yeah, anyway. Whew, sorry, I'm a little bit out of it. It feels like it was longer than a weekend, but it was not. We had problems last week with YouTube. Tried to get that last episode up on Friday, but it had to be carried over to Saturday, early Saturday, so maybe that's why it feels weird. And then I had an hour-long Kerbal Space Program go up yesterday, Sunday, which was actually slated for Saturday, but I shifted things over because YouTube processing, they're changing a bunch of things with the back end and processing and the commenting system. They've taken away video responses. They're changing the way that system works, so hooray! Transitions once again. I don't feel like we ever have enough time to get used to something in the YouTube system. Things change so often. Have a seat. I have some excess. Those are pork chops, by the way, just reskinned via the texture pack that I'm using. You know what? It has been a while. I've had this one heart down. So I'm going to eat some gluten-free bread. This is gluten-free bread, see? Woof, Wolfie knows. Bloop. Full health. That's very anticlimactic. The eating in before the update that had the hunger bar where you eat things. It was just bloop. You just swallow it whole like some sort of Advil or something. Oh, brother. I had a little anecdote. I have problems swallowing pills. I don't know. I have a small esophagus or something, but I've always, especially as a child, had a problem swallowing pills. They would get lodged in that little spot at the bottom of your throat. There's a word for it. I suppose it's the flap that separates your lungs from your stomach tube. The pills would always get stuck there, and I would end up choking and sometimes spitting them up. So, hooray! Little anecdotal knowledge about Kurt. So, I guess if I'm ever in a situation in dire medical need of some sort of medication, give it to me in chewable or liquid form. I'll do much better than if you give me a giant horse pill. So anyway, random tangent. I do want to follow up on a story from the last episode. I talked about was that the last episode or the episode before last? Anyway, whoa, what the heck just happened there? I think Wolfie pushed me off. Hello, that was cold. The Orbital Sciences launched their Cygnus capsule resupply ship to the International Space Station. The first launch to the space station for them. They are a commercial supplier for resupply to the International Space Station for NASA, much like SpaceX and their Dragon capsule. They were due to dock to the space station last Saturday, but there was a problem, a little glitch, I suppose you could say, with the GPS. They use GPS, obviously. Ow! I got that heart back, and I'm going to lose it right away. GPS and problem, or something like that. They're in the proper orbit, and the spacecraft is healthy and whatnot. But without this GPS tracking system, they don't have the clearance. They need this as a fallback, as a redundancy, to know where they're at in regards to the space station. Ooh, don't go that way. And without it, they're obviously not going to dock. So they put it off, and they thought they had it resolved for Monday, but they decided to wait even longer. You know, I believe they're rewriting software and making sure everything is on the up and up. And they were going to do it again Tuesday, but they decided since this Wednesday, so I guess a little bit of a advanced warning for you people. Wednesday, a Soyuz rocket carrying the next 3 astronauts for the next expedition to the International Space Station. Right now, the International Space Station just has 3 people on board. The previous 3 had landed. The next expedition of 3 astronauts is going to be launching and rendezvousing and docking on Wednesday. So they generally don't like to schedule multiple ships to be docking at the same time or within a certain period of time, just in case, because you don't want to have traffic there. You don't want to, if something goes wrong with the Cygnus and it has to back away again, then it is kind of like orbital debris. It is kind of in the way for this manned capsule to be arriving. So they've decided to hold off until next Saturday for the Cygnus docking attempt. So it is kind of, if you watch my Kerbal Space program, when I rendezvous, you know, you get into kind of a parking orbit where you're technically in the same orbit as your target vehicle, but you're a ways away, so you're just kind of staying at that distance. So they're going to keep the Cygnus at bay, I suppose, until they are sure that this thing is fixed, but then also are sure that the Soyuz capsule with the 3 new astronauts has docked safely and they're all good. The thing with the Cygnus, much like the Dragon capsule, they need to they don't dock themselves. They get close enough to the space station where an onboard astronaut grapples, sounds like some sort of Muppet name or something like that. I'm Grabbles the Frog. Oh, and they have to grapple the Cygnus with the arm and then bring it in. I believe there's there's a separate term. It's not called a docking. It's called there's a technical term they have between the grapple and dock, and then just the straight dock, like the Soyuz, the ATV, the what else does that? The Progress, the unmanned Soyuz, the Progress capsule. They all just fly in and dock themselves, much like we do in Kerbal Space Program, as opposed to the SpaceX, the Dragon capsule, the Cygnus, and I believe the HTV. They park, they get close, and then they're grappled by the arm and then docked to the proper port. So a little bit of an update for that. So we'll be looking on Wednesday. I should go to sleep. On Wednesday, check out, keep posted, look up stuff, Spaceflight Now, for a Soyuz launch, and then on Saturday, Cygnus docking. Okay, let's go to sleep. And awakeness. That seemed like I was awake for a significant amount of time beyond the sunset, but nothing spawned. It seemed kind of bright. Maybe it's the snow? I don't know. The northern lights, perhaps? We're going west. We're not going north. You know what? I've been collecting an abundance of wool, so I might as well keep doing so. Wolfie, he keeps pushing me, too. So yeah, that space news. Follow up space news. Indeed. If you follow me on Twitter, I often retweet when T-minus 10 minutes till a launch of this, that, or the other, and then you can look up the feed. Usually the Soyuz launches are on NASA TV. NASA.gov/NTV will bring you there. Or Spaceflight Now, like I said, is a good website that holds all of the information, both about the Cygnus docking, but also the what other launches and space activities would be going on. Can I get 64? No, 62. Oh well, that's good. I need more wooden planks. Dang it! A constant struggle to keep supplied on our journey to the far lands. Let's grab this tree, why don't we? Let's see. I do have a bunch of questions from donors to to Child's Play charity at farlandserbus.com. So we can get through those as we do. Hey, guy. As we do. Karak Sindru asked, do you ever check the F3 screen for coordinates when you're not recording? And I've gotten this question many times before. I also get the question, why don't you check your F3 to see how far you've come? First of all, I do not check that on screen or on my own ever, because I wait until we raise our Child's Play charity goal, which, like I've said, this season is $100,000. We're at $45,679. So if you want to check F3, you want me to check F3, you should donate at farlandserbus.com. That is the big matzo ball, the big incentive at the end of the season. Check that out. So that's why. But I also don't do it on my own. I want it to be a surprise for myself. We have estimates. There are people who get their calculators out and do a whole bunch of very, very educated estimates about how far along I am. Oh, woof. And those are all fine and good, but we do not have the official number until I press F3 after we've raised, as far as this season goes, $100,000. Previous seasons it was $8,200. I pressed F3 and we were at 292,202, 292,000 blocks away from spawn. And then season 3, we raised 29,220 based on the previous number. And we did that, and then we doubled it during the live stream, the Flobathon live stream. And at the end of that, we were at 699,492 for our goal. So we more than doubled our how long we had walked, and I'm doubled. We would have to be. Whoa, good lord, we would have to be. We would have to be at. Whoa! I'm all turned around here. Here we go. 699. So let's say 700,000. We would have to be at 1,400,000 to say double at the end of this season. We certainly have had a lot of episodes. I've gotten on a much more regular schedule this season, keeping to at least and regularly 3 episodes a week, so we've certainly covered some ground. Like I mentioned a few episodes ago, we're past 9 gigabytes for the world save, so that's pretty crazy. I don't know if you can somehow computate the size of the world to how far I've walked. No matter what, it's not going to be an exact science, because as you can see, I shimmy left and right and up and down and all around, so there's not an exact, you know, this many blocks per megabyte or anything like that. So there's a lot of estimations and whatnot. But yes, but no. But yes, but no. But maybe, but not in between. I do not check F3 anytime away from the camera. Pretty much, I load up the world, and I hit record. Actually, I hit record before I load up the world, just in case Wolfie barks right away. And then when I sleep at the end of the episode, I technically, obviously, as you know, with the sleeping animations, or with the sleeping progress through in Minecraft, you wake up. So I technically wake up, but then I hit pause and then exit out of the game. So really, the only time I'm playing in this world, or have this world loaded up, is while I'm recording episodes. So everything I do in this world, you see here in Farlands or Bust, episode 297. I suppose I should maybe address, a lot of people are wondering if I'm going to be doing anything special for episode 300. I don't know. It feels like I just had episode 200, and I might have jumped the gun. I might have you know, used my best special episode, because for episode 200 I went to the Nether, which is something I said I would never do. I came back, I didn't travel any distance, but I grabbed glowstone and netherrack that I'm carrying now to the end of this season when I create the next F3 monument. When I press F3, I make a monument to say, this is where I pressed F3, and this is the number. So I decided I would carry this along. So I feel like that was probably my best idea, and I blew it on the 200th episode, and already we're coming up on 300 episodes. So I don't know if I have anything too special that I could possibly do, and I can't do anything like show you a different world, or, I can't do anything crazy like some people might be able to do for milestone videos, and I've never been too much on the milestone videos. There's a kind of a similar question here I had from a donor. Where did they ask this? Aha! Braveskin asked, I know creating videos for YouTube can create some odd sense of satisfaction in the creator, but do you ever feel like any of your videos were especially good, to the point you were proud of them? I am very proud of... I suppose I look at it not on an individual video by video basis, but the overall body of work, the overall picture, not just of Farlands or Bust, but my entire channel. I try to create something I would be proud of, I suppose. But yes, there are a few videos that I could say, yeah, that was awesome, that worked out great, where I was like visibly excited in the editing process after I watch like a clip of what I've just edited together, and I'm like, yeah, that was awesome. Particularly the 200th episode was one of those, and a lot of the time, especially in Minecraft, it works out where it's just completely dumb luck how something works out, or how the drama plays out, I suppose I should say. As with the 200th episode, I suppose if you haven't seen it, spoilers, but it's a long episode. I take some time to build stuff up, build up the tension. I build a nether portal. There's some danger with the lava and stuff like that. But then I go through, and it could have either gone really too easily or really horribly. I go through, my goal is to grab some glowstone, and sure enough, pretty close to the portal is some glowstone, but it's just out of reach and pretty dangerous to get in the ceiling. But I'm able to get up there and grab it. Of course, on the way out is when I start getting lambasted, in the words of BOO, by, or was that generic B? The B team, let's say the B team, that's a B team term. By 2 or 3 ghasts out of nowhere just start firing at me, and I'm trying to shoot back, but it's not working because I'm not used to the bow mechanics, you know, the insta shot of the bow mechanics, so I'm not getting the distance I need or the proper track on the ghasts, and there was a lot of tension. I was very worried about being this far out and going back through another portal, about popping out somewhere else in the world and having left Wolfie behind, what that would have done. So there was a lot of tension, and that just worked out great. I just really enjoyed how that worked out. Obviously, like I said, it's not like scripted or anything, but it really worked out great. Also getting Zisto to do kind of a little teaser intro, I was very happy with how that was able to edit together and work out. So that was great. Another thing, like the first episode of Season 4, where I do the hidey hole paradox, that whole opening sequence, very proud of that. That worked out excellently. Even simple things. There was was it the 25,000 subscriber special, where I went back and down the dark and magical pit of bottomless destiny? That was something else that worked out hilariously, just coincidentally. Obviously no scripting or anything like that, just a first take, and bam, you know, a lot of excitement and funny things that happened. I suppose even away from Far Lands or Busts, I was very proud of the way some co-op videos. Well, obviously the UHC Season 3. Let's go to sleep. Let's split our topic across 2 nights. And awakeness. Well, obviously the way UHC works out, Season 3 was brilliant. Obviously, most popular by far, and then every subsequent one, and the way I try to, in the editing, I suppose one way you know I'm excited about a project, or the way footage that I have, is if I take extra time to edit, if I take the extra time to do something a little sneaky, like put in some music, or do a slow motion sequence, or a flashback to kind of, mix in some, what's the word I'm looking for, premonition or foreshadowing, is always very fun and cool. So, little things like that. But then again, like I was trying to get at, co-op things, like myself, Vintage Beef, and BOO played Moonbase Alpha. That was just funny and hilarious, and I'm very proud of how that worked out. More recently, B-Dubs, Pungence, and Corrales and I played The Hunter. That was hilarious. We played for like 2.5 hours, and we had to drill it down to one episode. But I had the most fun, obviously, recording that, but then going back and editing it was extremely fun as well, chopping out and finding the funny bits. And so that was, stuff like that I'm really proud of. So yeah, I look at it as an overall picture. Even I could say, as little as I enjoyed the game, my Tomb Raider Let's Play I was very proud of, because it was a very consistent whole picture. You kind of might get lost if you only watch 1 or 2 episodes. You don't understand why I continue to play this, but as a whole picture, it made sense as a playthrough with the opinions that I had. I definitely do feel proud of certain things. And it's kind of, there are lulls sometime where I feel like I'm not coming out with the most creative or original of content, and that's an easy way to get yourself a little bit down and out with, didn't make it. That's a shame. You could get yourself in a little bit of a lull, a little bit of a, whoops. A little bit of a, dang it, Wolfie. A little bit of a downward spiral, 9 Inch Nails. Video making and stuff like that, but it's the possibility and somewhat inevitability that you're going to have in the future one more of those episodes or videos, no matter what you make, where it's like, the light bulb turns on again. So yeah, I don't know how what was the segue into this? I know there was a question, but I was talking about something, and then I'm like, oh yeah, somebody asked me about this. Oh, F3. I was talking about when I press F3 and the 300th episode and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't have anything planned particularly for the 300th episode. I might treat it just as a normal episode. I'm not going to go back to the Nether. Oh yeah, another thing that worked out well with the 200th episode is there was speculation that on my way out and in my furor and fury and flurry, I think flurry was the word I was looking for, the flurry of arrows, I might have hit a pigman on the way out. And I believe the way it works in this version of the game is you hit a pigman and all the pigmen hate you no matter where you're at in the Nether. So I will not be returning to the Nether ever again. So, that worked out. As far as a narrative goes and a storyline goes, that worked out quite well. So yeah, I guess roundabout little topics that we had there, but indeed. Segue. Speaking of UHC, I got a question in the donor questions about UHC. Have you noticed your recent trend in which you get killed in UHC by former teammates? In Season 8, it was Etho. Season 10, it was Doc. Season 11, it was BOO. Season 12, it was Zisto. Also, how do you feel? Well, I killed Zisto once as well, so... Also, how do you feel about your style of play after all the updates the game has received? Well, that's something we have no idea what we're going to do with in terms of the way the updates have happened. Whether or not we try to use the vanilla game again, or we need it necessitates using a mod to change certain things like the gas drops and potions that are OP in ultra hardcore and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that's very interesting about UHC is as the game changes, you can never have, there is no one preferable strategy, I suppose, because the game keeps changing. You have to keep changing with it. They go on to ask, blah, 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 blah. Do you think you ever might win? I got close a few times. And I suppose you might be talking individually. I mean, we won the team before, which was fun, obviously, but and I got in second, I suppose you could say, with the first, or Season 3 of UHC. Check out this mountain. Nice. Season 3, it was down to me and Good. Spoiler alert. Do you think you might ever win? I've come to terms that it's kind of just there is a lot of circumstantial luck and yes, skill, but there's a lot of circumstantial luck. And like I said, as long as my primary concern is video, and if I can continue having those cool moments in editing where I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, and having those episodes and video that I'm proud of, the winning kind of takes a back seat to that. However, winning would make for a good video, I would hope. So there's also, it's kind of, maybe winning is in the front seat, but it's not in the driver's seat of the front seat of priorities for UHC. Random strange analogies that make no sense whatsoever about front seat, back seat. So yeah, I mean, I have no idea what that's about, being killed by former teammates. Does that mean next season I'm going to be killed by Doc? Or not Doc, Bash? I do not know. Although the season previous, we got into an altercation ourselves and I almost got him. But who knows? UHC is fun. I suppose we'll see what happens with that. There was a bit of a teaser. We're not completely 100% sure the logistics, but if you watched that Mindcrack podcast episode where they mentioned and introduced the charity weekend, October 18th, 19th, and 20th, where Mindcrack as a crew are doing 48 hours straight live streaming, where we're raising money for Child's Play charity. So perhaps we'll get a little bit of a boost there to try to get us closer to pressing F3 in Farlands or Bust. That's where it's going towards. But they also mentioned at Minecon, it's looking as if we might be able to do a live UHC. Don't know the logistics, no idea how that's going to work. As far as the viewer's point of view, it'll definitely have to be a much shorter format, because normal UHCs can go on 4 or 5 hours or something like that. Obviously, we're going to have to think of a shorter format series to do there, and it's just going to be the people in attendance, those Mindcrackers in attendance. I don't know. That was just mentioned. Here we go. Here's a spawner that's exposed. Have a seat. So this is the type of spawner that we can handle. What kind is it? It is a Skeletna spawner. Danger. What do we got? Oh, is this a... Oh, it's a rare double chest in a spawner. Got some bread. Oh, check out all this iron. We got 6 iron. Very nice. Buckets, string, saddles. I will leave the bread behind because I have 64 wheat. And in the occasion I need some health, I can make bread out of that. Because I have literally been carrying that around and not have been using it at all. It's a waste of wheat. Whoa. Okay, I guess Wolfie's up. He's running around. So yeah, that's, I suppose, relevant to our topic. And last but not least, another question about UHC from a donor. Tristan S. Have you ever played on a community UH server? Would you ever consider it? No, and probably no, because I do like the exclusivity of playing just with the Mindcrack guys. Maybe not exclusivity isn't the word, but I feel like it'll make it less special for me, just me personally, not necessarily, based on anybody else's feelings or any sort of agreements that we have with each other for Mindcrack, but I feel like it would be less of a treat. Are you just gonna... Okay, that's fine. It would be less of a treat for myself if... Why don't you move a little bit that way? Yeah, there you go. To do UHC if I were already doing it all the time, I suppose. So, not really considering it, no. It probably would not be the same, and that's why I don't want to ruin that sort of effect, I suppose, with doing UHC with the Mindcrack guys. So yes, a bit of random topics here in this episode of Farlands or Bust. We talked about spacecraft, talked about videos on YouTube that we're proud of, talked about the F3 and Farlands or Bust and all that stuff, talked about UHC quite a bit. These are the type of things you can expect to see here in Farlands or Bust, just random rambles of Kurt J. Mack as we continue walking to the Farlands and raising money for Child's Play charity over at farlandsorbust.com. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a little like on it. That always helps. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I will see you in the next episode of Farlands or Bust. Dang it. I screwed up this exit. This outro. How can I recover from this? See you next time.